Hello and welcome to my epic Rust journey. Today is Fresh Wipe, where all the Zergs and solo players alike find themselves fresh on the beach with nothing but a rock and a torch. I had my eye on an awesome build location, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to pull it off. After all, there was almost 600 people in the server, and just one of me. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a story of epic battles. A story of playing chess with a neighboring clan, and ultimately winning. Which led to unpredictable outcomes. Some come-ups I never expected. Oh my god. Let's push it out and around. Got him. The kind of grub plays you can only dream of. Big cargo come-ups. And even bigger cargo fumbles. In this journey, we lose everything in offline raids, but we rebuild just to lose it all a second time. But because we don't just quit, this is also a story of revenge. A true testament to how sheer determination can conquer even the most daunting challenges, like getting our loot back from hackers, plus more. My name is Jack, and I'm going to take you on an unforgettable Rust adventure. I spawned in just minutes after wipe, eager to get going. My plan was to build near the two harbors and the ranch, so to get somewhere in the middle, I picked about here. With a plan in mind, I left the beach and attempted to get to Outpost. The plan was to use the workbench so that I could make tools and weapons before I pushed to my spot. Honestly, everything was going great until suddenly it wasn't. Guys, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this... Is this like a server thing? Is this me? For reasons out of my control, my computer started having all sorts of problems. My recording software would crash. The game would force close. Everything was going wrong. After about an hour, I finally had a fix in place and I could keep playing, but I had lost valuable time. After what felt like an eternity, I finally made it to Outpost. I recycled my sad bit of scraps and bought some resources for the times ahead. I'm not gonna lie though, my spirits were pretty low, so I wanted to try a little bit of gambling. I needed Lady Luck to help me out here. And we're gonna double it right here. Oh! Let's go! Okay. We're gonna do that. That's a good start. That's a good start. Guys, we were so down bad, I was excited to buy food, okay? This is where we were. Eventually, the time came for me to leave the safety of Outpost. Under cover of night, I took my very first steps for the long journey ahead. You get a little and go, you get greedy, you die. Doing my best to keep a low profile, I got resources sparingly. These scientists. Little sneaky guy. What do you got? Okay, alright. Come on, I'm so close. Alright, here's moment of truth. Is there a big clan here? Are we like super late? Are there 100 bases? Nobody. There's that guy. But that's okay. Let's do it. Finally, after hours of hardships, I got a lucky break. No one was in the area I wanted to build. It was all mine. Hey. I checked elevations and started my build. Everything was looking good. I decided to go ahead and upgrade with all that stone I'd gotten. I mean, that's what it's there for, right? Opting instead for a double door, I needed to demo that frame, which meant I needed to put a TC down. And that's when I realized something was weird. I couldn't place the TC. Why can't I? Huh? Can be placed in water? Oh. Okay. Realizing I just used all my farm, I started to panic a little bit. Then I saw a naked who appeared to be farming, or had a farming tool in his hand. So I figured I'd better ground check him. Run his pockets. No way I hit that. Let's go. Alright, well I just waste. Yes! Jack! No, it's me, Jack! Not wanting to draw attention, I had to put him down. I didn't recognize the name, didn't have a clue who that guy was. Thanks to that generous man's farm, it was time for base build take 2. Dude, this is so stressful. Wipe day. I can't even secure this. Well, it's the last thing I wanted to do. I had to go get more wood to finish my build. And yes, I put down a naked, but it's wipe day. You never know what people have. I know he's on the beach with a rock, but maybe he's got something. Like that. That's when I realized I had to go get more farm. That was so stressful. I could finally somewhat relax. I had been clenched and nervous that entire time, but now that the walls and doors were up, we were good. And that's when I heard that voice again.
Hey Jack, I see how it is.
Who is it? Who would it be?
It's your Discord friends.
What? Why are y'all over here? I thought y'all were way on the other side of the map. I thought someone was just like, come in, come in, come in, come in.
We can't get over there.
Alright, so let me explain this interaction because it's kind of important. Remember when I first rolled in and I found that small stone base on the shore? That is Team Ness. Team Ness is about 4 deep. They're good neighbors because we have some history, and most importantly, they're enemies to Team Dark, a 20-man ZERG with almost limitless resources. And by that, I mean they build raid bases like this. Anyway, I returned the things I stole, joined their Team UI, and offered to help if they had any problems. And since I had to give away my only farm, I decided to take my best metal tools and only weapons and go out and farm for myself. No, come on. No. Oh, this is everything I have. Crashing right there meant falling asleep on the beach. If anybody was to find my body, they could take everything I had. About 4 minutes later, I finally log in to find... Yep. As expected. Awesome. Love this game. Another brutal setback. I'd lost my only metal tools, my only weapons. That was everything I had. Things were about as dire as they could be, and honestly, I thought about quitting right here. But I didn't. Like I said, this is a story of not quitting ever, so I kept at it. And after a bit of time, my efforts were rewarded. A little update, kind of crazy, a little harrowing, but I got back with this. This is my first big run in the new location. Even found a decent clone out in the wild. We got almost 100 scrap, a bunch of metal. Little by little, I continued to amass scrap and resources, focused on building the base up and eventually getting to a tier 2 workbench. At one point, I decided to get a horse and take a DB around and see what I could do. First customer. Oh, hits me? Yeah, my turn. Yeah, let's go. Easy game. That's all you do. So easy.
Hello there.
Dude, there's no way. Oh, wait, no, wait, no, wait, no, wait, no. Did I just lose everything? I had, in fact, lost everything. Another brutal loss, and I find myself once again asking, do I continue? But by now, I think you know the answer. A short while later, I was farming the road when I was killed by a two-man. I ran back out with my best weapons and gear, and attempted to hunt them back down. Alright, they're separating. I'd gotten lucky earlier and found a body with a gun, so I was going to risk it all right here. In my head, this was a two-man, the other one being over at the gas station. Haul ass. See him? Hit. Should buy me a second. Have to duck and heal. Oh! What is this? What is this?
Must be 3-man.
5-man. It was at this time I realized that group was much larger than I originally thought. I'd seen at least 5 people over there. Well, we got plenty of wood. And it wouldn't be long before I ran into that group once again. See, my friends on the beach, Team Ness, called me for backup. They said they were being door camped by a group with guns, and they couldn't get out of their own base. I ran over to help as best I could, but I didn't know numbers or anything else.
Bingo.
After clearing the door campers away, we later realized this was Team Dark, one and the same as that large group at gas station earlier. And that's why I wasn't all that surprised to hear from Team Ness when they said,
Jack, we're screwed, my boy. We gotta move.
apparently Team Dark was in the area and making their presence felt. But that problem was going to have to wait just a minute. Oh my god, that's like really scary to look at and see. I realized Helly was barreling down right at me, but all I had was a crossbow, so I should be fine.
Shot if he...
Yeah, it's aggro on me. So I'm gonna let it kill me. I'm just gonna die in this like tree line.
I think if he stayed...
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Twice before I had died, and random nakeds would run up to my body and take all my stuff. But this time I actually got it back. With some good components banked, I decided to go on a little bit of a run. I know Team Ness had said that Team Dark was in the area, but I couldn't worry about that. Oh no, I fumbled. I fumbled so hard.
You're still in it, bro.
What? I don't even see him. A shot.
You had the nastiest heady on you.
Wait, did I down him? Bro. I wouldn't even realize till later this was a Team Dark member. I did hear others though, so I looted and scooted. They were pursuing me, but I had a good head start. I knew I could get away. Until...
Hello there.
Oh my god. I'm dead.
No! You're dead at the guy shooting at you.
Yep. Oh!
Freaking bear.
Dude. Cock
Oh,
bear.
the RNG is so crappy.
But if there's anything I've learned from Rust, it's that persistence is rewarded. Get killed by a bear, the next life you might find a loaded body, like this. You just gotta keep at it. After a handful of come-ups like that last one, I had enough farm to expand the base. Base was just a 2x2 design with some honeycomb and some tricks that I've come up with over the years. For example, I like to use the honeycomb as some storage. Not all of them, but maybe one, maybe two. It's usually pretty tricky. Can be handy in a raid. And it was while I was minding my own business, building my base, someone started trying to break my twig. And we couldn't let that stand. It hit me that I had way too much on me to lose. I had a row of stone, and that was really hard to find day one. Banked it and went back to the fight.
Probably smart.
Up there. Whoa! That was why.
Ooh, they might come storming in.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not
And
going
it would be after the coming death screen that I realized this was Team Dark, the last group I wanted to be near. A short time later, their clan leader even stopped by.
Bro, we can be friendly, bro. We gotta be weird.
I told him I got shot at, and I responded. What's weird about that?
Sure. Nothing weird about that, but that guy's
Alright,
be kind, okay?
Weirdest interaction I've ever had in Rust. This clan leader goes on to say that he's a solo and us solos need to stick together. He then says his teammates are dumb. I'm paraphrasing. He doesn't speak for them, that they're crazy, they do weird stuff. It was very strange, very odd. But because he felt compelled to say anything at all, I was hopeful it was over and done with. I would be forgotten, we'd all move on, and I could just focus on building my base. Maybe taking the cargoes, maybe running oil. Like, this is where my head was at. Never in a million years did I dream things would evolve to the point that they did. But that's getting ahead of the story a little bit. Before too long, the very first cargo of the entire wipe showed up near my base, and you know I had to go for it. I like to see that. I mean, I knew it would probably be a grub fest, but this was a whole different level. I would be willing to say there was probably 30 people in the vicinity by the time it was all said and done. I whiffed. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. There was bodies on bodies. How many bodies are there? And these weren't the same people coming back, at least not yet. With so many bodies, I was hopeful I could find a gun of some sort. Even a DB. I mean, anything would be helpful here. Got a knife or something. Despite all my scavenging, the only thing I could find was more grubs. I mean, they were everywhere you looked. I whiffed, but I had a knife. But someone else had a gun? I mean, it was pure chaos everywhere you looked. At one point, I heard somebody in the water and swimming a weird direction. Not to the boat, but rather away from it. I pushed around, hoping maybe they had some really good loot. Trying to find an angle on them. Why is this guy swimming away? Or whatever. Once again, I come face to face with none other than Team Dark. I'd find out later that they had about 6 people running around here on this first cargo, which got them juiced early. So if I couldn't take cargo, I had to find other ways to get loot. Little by little, I was able to progress. Eventually got the tier 2, where I could get electric furnaces and garage doors. I was doing pretty good.
It's still pretty crazy that you're on that space. With it's even, to me, that's just as crazy as the Elon thing, to be honest.
Alright, we're at a good spot.
Jack, are you dumb? This guy right in front of you, bro.
Okay, bro. Okay. There really is a guy, like, right there.
Yeah,
You got a bag for me, Jackie boy?
Hang on. Once again, I'm helping out Team Nest, but don't worry, they pay all this back in the coming days. I grabbed a couple items and bounced. But what I didn't realize was that this 7 diesel that I picked up, this would be the reason I get raided in the future. Short time later, Beaver wanted to run Harbor. He'd never been to the new part, so I decided to show him around.
Big brain plays, you listen to big firefights at Harbor.
And in case you don't know, Beaver is one of my oldest Rust friends. We've played together for almost a year now, off and on, multiple wipes. And even though he's extremely busy with life and family and everything, he still finds time to hop on with old Jack and run around every now and then. And when we get together, we're a force to be reckoned with. We've outplayed large groups and raided clans and taken over servers. I mean, we've done a lot together. One of the things Beaver does really well, though, is kind of pushes me outside of comfort zone. And a lot of times, it's because of him that something great happens.
Ooh, train. Underground train. We could camp the come up.
Let's go.
Alright, you recall it. Keep going. Unfortunately, the train didn't stop at our station and kept on going. But it did put us in a good position for something else. Oh, that's a python. No. Theirs. They win that fight. It is, it's getting a little bit dark. Eventually, Beaver talked me into going for the fight. So we pushed around to where we thought the python shots came from. The recycle.
Right here. He's like, oh, he's taking a shot. Oh, back up. There's at least 2.
Since we were still crossbow nail gun, any sort of weapon would have been a huge come up for us.
Yep.
Sinking in.
Oh, I fell. Okay. He's like right above me.
Got him.
I headshot him. I got it. Oh, cover me.
Alright. You're good with you, I guess. Close me, I think.
Is that you running? Who's running?
No. He's down on your level. Following you.
Can't see him.
While trying to figure out what to do next, somebody flipped on the lights.
I'm jumping.
The lights are on.
I had taken plenty of L's that day, so I wanted to get 1 W banked.
I got the python. I got all the scrap off that guy. Dude.
Beaver had called it. That was our python.
I'm on the coast. Where are you?
I'm right next to you.
Bunch of flashlights over there. You see that? That's that big group.
Unfortunately, Team Dark had moved into that area where our friends had been. They were quickly expanding, and I was very nervous about them.
That's like the only group I'm not gonna bother.
Beaver had suggested grubbing them, but I didn't want to poke the hornet's nest. So while I had no interest in bothering Team Dark, they unfortunately took an interest in bothering me. Their members had specific roles, like some would build and others would come and harass me. 2 to 3 would constantly be door camping, others would stop me from farming, and most recently they put up these external tool covers to keep me from expanding.
Do they do a window in any of this?
They hadn't even finished building their own bases, and they were setting resources aside to come and grief me. So I knew these guys were serious, and I knew I had to do something to protect myself.
Crazy. So I think I can thread the needle and do another external over here, and that's really gonna piss them off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do one over here.
I decided to go ahead and build a second external tool cupboard, even though it would really squeeze me for resources. But these guys were so adamant on harassing me that I had to do something. So the next time it turned dark, I went ahead and threaded that needle right between their external grief TCs. but even in the night, the clan sent their spies to keep an eye on me.
What is this guy doing?
It seemed like anything I tried to do had this element of pressure to it. There was always some threat from those guys.
Hey, we're definitely gonna piss him off with that. I love it. That's what I'm here for.
After adding the second external tool cupboard to defend my base, it was time to go and check out what they were up to. I needed numbers if I could get it. I needed to know where their holes were, where their weaknesses were, what. So I ran in and just kind of acted goofy.
Wait, do you want to be sacrificed?
I played along with their weird little games, but the reality was I needed to scout a little bit more for the plan I had in mind. Because like I said before, I was all about pissing them off. See, the way I saw it, they had decorated my area with some external grief TCs. It was only fair if I did the same to them. Doing this was risking just about all the metal I had at the time, so I had to make this work. Also, I really wanted to bother their expansion plans, and if I could do that, maybe I make them move? I've seen it before, I've done it before. We'd see. No flashlight. No. Okay. And with that last wall upgrade, I breathed a heavy sigh of relief. My heart had been in my throat that entire time. That was a big deal to me to put that down. It was a sign that I wasn't scared of them. It was a sign that I was here to stay. And if they wanted to mess with me, hey, I can mess back. When I logged in for the first time on my second day of wipe, I thought for sure I'd be raided, but lucky for me, that wasn't the case. Even some of the externals that had been placed to grief me had decayed, indicating they didn't put any upkeep in them. It was good, you know. In fact, it gave me hope that maybe they were gone. Had my grief TC worked? Were they gone forever? I ran over and I checked everything out. It looked like some of their externals to their main had decayed. So I couldn't really figure out what exactly was going on because some of the walls by their main base had decayed, others hadn't. So I wasn't 100% what had happened, but I did convince myself that I had made them move, and I was very excited for it. So turning my attention to the other things I wanted to get done, I started work on my farm. Now this base was something new I'd never done, but it's something I found on YouTube, and of course I'll credit the author in the video description. But this was going to be a 2x2 footprint with a couple triangles on the sides for the TC, and supposedly by the end of it, it was going to have 7 or 8 planters. So it was something I was very interested in. I think one thing that a lot of solos don't use and utilize to their maximum is farming. Because if there's only one of you doing everything, getting all the wood, getting all the farm, etc., you've got to have teas. If you don't have teas, you know, there's just no way you can keep up with the giant clans that have 10 people running around. So if you can increase your efficiencies, if you can use the teas, if you can get to pure teas eventually, even just 1 or 2 a day, it makes a huge impact on what you're able to do. I actually messed up this part of the build, so as kind of a workaround, I just used these triangle roof pieces. It seemed to work good enough. So once completed, I actually was able to put 8 planters in here and get thousands of cloth every so often. It was really, really nice. Before too long, I had tees cranked out. I was selling cloth for high qual. It was a good time. I decided to run the roads to try to get some tech trash because I needed more solar panels. In my mind, this was going to take an hour, and I was ready for it, but kind of dreading it at the same time. See? Got a little bit of luck sometimes. One kind of weird thing the big clan would do is change names almost every day. So I didn't know if this guy was part of their group or not. But I was still hoping that they were gone forever, so I had my fingers crossed it was not them. But of course, it was them. I later found out that it was, in fact, them. The way I found out is they were repairing the externals that were decaying around my base. They were running over it with a hammer and smacking them. So I decided I would go and repay the favor. Maybe bless them with a second external of their own. Once again, I knew full well that this would upset the group, but again, it's about taking a stand. It's about pushing back when the bully pushes you. After all that fun with the neighboring clan, it was time for a component run. My best option was airfield, and I went through all the towers and all the boxes. I actually got a fair bit of diesel at the same time. At this point, I was down bad on high qual. I really needed some. Because I'm basically solo at this point, I had to do all the farming myself as well, so depoted what I had and went back out to get some notes I'd seen. I was getting close to everything I needed for a tier 3 workbench, which was really exciting, especially being so early in day 2. But I had a little bit of base expansion to do first. I had about 9k sulfur at this point just from passive farming, so I was excited to get to using it. Like I said, I had to build things out first, had to get the base in the proper state. As is standard for me, my builds are pretty much freeform. I don't have some sort of YouTube tutorial or anything like that. I mean, I pretty much wing it most of the time. And it's served me really well, honestly. When I get raided, people just don't know where to go. If it's a standard YouTube base, they know, oh, you turn here and you blow in there, and then it's only this many rockets to core. But whenever I freeform stuff, it tends to be a little bit more confusing. But one of the biggest things I like to do too with these expansions is have little hidey holes, little squirreled away places for loot. So that area with the oil refinery, you know, maybe I put a couple crates in there and I spread my loot out in there. Next up, I'm going to build basically a carport. And in there, I can have some loot boxes as well, perhaps behind a glass window or something. So there's all sorts of little ways to spread your loot around. And I think this was really, really important, knowing that there was a good chance I end up getting raided by the neighboring clan. So this is why I took a lot of time right now, when I could have been out getting guns, getting comps, whatever. But I knew if I could at least build out the base, and even if I do get raided, I'll have a good starting point going forward. Since we're building basically just a box, we'll speed run the rest of this thing. Okay, and with the last door placed, we had a carport, we had a horse barn, whatever you want to call it, an expansion area. This was perfect for me. This is exactly what I wanted. So now that we had a good base, we had a functioning farm, we had a carport, all this, we could go do a little PvP. I heard some shots, so it was time to stick our head out, see what we could get. Maybe we get a big old come up right here.
Oh, he's cheating. Okay.
No come up, just a swift kick between the legs. Over and over again.
Hey, cheater guy. What's the story? Why be here?
I always like to come over and talk to these guys, because gamer words aside, they can say some funny things. Like?
Yeah, I'm a Fiverr cheater. I'm a Fiverr cheater. There are people hiring me.
Fiverr cheater? Are you for real right now?
I'm a Fiverr cheater, bro. I'm a Fiverr cheater. I got you, bro. You want anybody? I'm harassing like this Zerg over here.
Okay, so the best I could put together was that somebody hired this cheater to go after Team Dark, which was wild.
Oh, no way, they took the cheater down.
But as cheaters go, he was actually pretty bad. Team Dark just wiped him. And a short time later, he was completely banned and gone. But that cheater doing what he did was like kicking the hornet's nest, and before too long, Team Dark was on a warpath. Team Nest let us know that they were swarming our base. We thought we were about to get raided, so we immediately put a counteroffensive.
HMLMG down, dude!
What?
Yes, go get it, go get it!
I'm on him. Give me more comps.
There's external TC that I made, there's a guy.
There's a guy covering, I can't do it.
Okay.
Down the road.
Team Dark had a bolty sniper back at their base and about 5 around ours.
I'm down on the roof, dude.
As best we could tell, it was all or nothing right here.
He's dropping a bunch of loot by the external.
Go get some of that loot if you can help him.
Okay.
Whatever he dropped, just depot it. We can sort it out later.
Recognizing the immediate necessity of a shooting floor, I had to undergo one of my favorite things: combat construction. Ideally, I would alternate between fighting and building, and hopefully whatever was built in the end would give us a huge edge in a battle or a raid to come.
Nice.
Just like stone and stuff.
You hear him?
What do you say?
He said loot this body, loot this body.
Okay. Ow.
We keep working on the
looted
base.
him.
Shot. That was a nice little encounter, dude. You're kind of boneheads, these guys. Okay, we have a shooting floor now. Okay, go lead outside if you can.
Okay, I want it.
There's a hazy that's down. And a wolf kit I'm about to kill. Wolf kit down, he has a gun in the road. Okay, get that. He tagged you.
Okay.
Saw your foot or something.
I grabbed Revy.
So while Beaver and Team Ness mopped up and picked up all the kits on the ground and everything, I just kept upgrading the base.
I just dropped the reload here.
It was during all this that I realized I had messed something up.
I see kind of where it's coming from, but I can't get a shot on it.
I couldn't get an angle on where they were roof camping from, which was going to cause a lot of problems down the line, I figured. But I wanted to finish everything else first, and then I could fix this issue.
I got a loot.
Okay. Nice, you got the road guy? Very
Yeah.
nice. Good stuff, dude.
Thanks
Good
to
stuff.
Beaver being a pro bolty dodger, he was able to loot a dozen bodies and get all sorts of guns and armor and everything else. It was a big come up for us. I finished sealing off the shooting floor and went back to that problematic wall piece. While there was still plenty of work to be done to reinforce that level, I was breathing a sigh of relief.
That was nuts. I think we took all their kits from them, basically.
High off our wind, we decided to go for the cargo as it docked in the harbor beside us.
Yeah, they're on. I think they must have gone low. Me and the boys are going down from the front. I'm going.
Team Ness was still on the boat, so I called out to warn him of the naked and that I was coming.
Naked, careful, careful, careful. It's me, it's me, it's me. No, no, no! Bro.
I know we're in middle. Oh my god.
Beaver down!
I took a semi-auto pistol. I can kill like full metal kits with this thing.
The cargo ship was leaving the first harbor, but headed to the second, so I grabbed this horse and decided to go get ahead of it.
Whoa, just passing through.
Watch out, man.
Don't mind me. Oh, there's AK guys. There's more AKs coming too.
Gotta be a body or something. I think somebody's like chasing me. Sounded like some guy had squirreled away loot and was picking it all up. I'm on a crate that just opened. My brain immediately went into loot goblin mode and I didn't even notice this guy, one of Team Dark. I went into pure panic. I didn't know what to do. But it's okay, because I recovered. I got an angle on him and got killed in the back. Team Dark wins yet again. Seeing you could jump behind the crate though, that was a new trick. That was something I learned. He had pulled away the gun and the ammo so fast I didn't even notice it in real time. But I'd remember that and maybe even use it in the future. Before bed, I wanted to finish compounding the base, so I used a wood tee thanks to the farm. 17k stone, another 10 already banked. And got close to 30k wood to compound everything in. I compounded the base and used a new vending machine I put down to try and get some high quality metal overnight. I advertised a bit in chat, bunkered up, and went to bed, hopeful the base would still be there the next morning when I logged in. Logging in the next morning, I saw that my worst fears had been realized. Team Dark, at about 4 a.m. my time, had offlined me. At first I thought I had logged out somewhere weird, maybe in the farm. Maybe all they did was hit my farm after all these doors are still here. But of course, that had been cope, and we had lost literally everything. Days of progress set back. In fact, I had enough resources for a tier 3, and I had saved it. I was going to do it the next day. I should have put it down, and I didn't. I kicked myself for that. I'd later do the math on just what the total expense was for all this, and realized they spent roughly 35 rockets on little old me. At the time, I think I had 2 Tommies. I did have some sulfur, so they got that. But I had doors all through here, garage doors, I had all kinds of stuff, and they blew through every single one of them. I just got rated to 0. What are you asking me for anything? There's literally nothing. Oh, yeah.
Bruh. They told me they onlined you.
No, they did not online me. What are you talking about?
They offlined you.
No, yeah, 100%.
They rated like everything on your base.
Yeah, dude, that I can't begin to tell you how much boom they had to use. I'm guessing 35 rockets. Dude, they boomed into my farm, but my farm's still functional. So I think this is like a pretty easy repair if I can just get some resources. That's why I'm honestly not super worried about it. It'll all work out. Around this time, Beaver and I did discuss moving. We didn't know if we wanted to fight these guys day after day. Doing so would give up a ton of resources that we spent building the base. But maybe that's what we needed to do.
I'll be back.
Okay. So let's focus on the good news. I still had my externals, which meant they couldn't grief my base, they couldn't take my workbench, they couldn't take my electronics. I mean, it's not like I'm starting over from scratch or anything. And like you guys already know, I don't quit.
With every single one of them, one when he ran away. They came back with like 30 Molotovs and forgot grief the base. Like, these guys are so weird.
This was a great example of just how weird and toxic these guys were. After I went and got a little bit of material to seal up, and I came back, they were waiting in my base, downed me, took whatever materials I had, and just mocked me. Lots of gamer words here, so I had to mute it, but yeah, that's who we're dealing with. These guys were completely off the handle. Yeah, it was like 3 a.m. 3, 4 a.m., something like that.
There's somebody that can't raid a duo.
No, they didn't.
It's 8 man. Like how deep were they? I know they're
They-
deeper, probably deeper than 8.
I think they're 30 deep.
Okay, so clearly I was tilted. I needed to take a breath, find my center, and get back out there. Back to stone tools. I hit the local mountain, trying to get a little bit of stone, something, so I could seal up the base.
He like used that to.
He was,
Wait,
he
hold on,
was
let's
never
talk.
good.
A definitely not sus Russian guy ran up to me, said he was friendly, and offered to help. Of course, I didn't trust him at all, but he threw his tool down and just told me good luck, and that was it.
3.
I give you metal axe.
Oh my man, thanks, dude.
And as you probably expected, yes, I was horribly murdered. Love this game. And then something really funny happened. As they ran back with my farm, they got gunned down. I told the guy what had happened because I just thought it was hilarious. I shared the whole story with him. He thought it was hilarious too, and he was like, hey, you know what? Here, take all this farm back.
You're a G. That's hilarious, by the way. Good stuff.
So this actually led to another awesome encounter. The guy who gunned down the Russians was this guy, Avril Lavigne. He followed me as I left and offered to team up. It took a second for us to communicate, but once he sent me a note, I figured it out. We teamed up and we ended up kind of running the roads together, doing some stuff. It was quite an adventure. Honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of Rust. It's just this spontaneity of stuff like this. Love it. Nothing else is like it. I told him I'd been raided and kind of told him the story. And he said he wanted to see it also. I took him back to the base. He offered to cover me while I sealed up. I didn't know if I was getting double crossed or what, but at this point I figured it didn't really matter. I had nothing to lose. Before you knew it, everything was sealed and we were back in business. After I got some metal cooking, Avril said he wanted to show me his base, so I followed him over there. I marked his location on the map, and then we decided to go farm together a little bit.
That's actually what I'm doing, so I'll probably just tag with you for now.
First bro gives me seal materials, now he's following me as like a bodyguard. I mean, this guy was awesome.
Guy in front of you, front left. Two.
After being raided, I had no weapons. This was all him.
Hurt left in the bush.
All I could do was close the gap. No way. Oh! At the time, I was down bad the most. When I needed farm, when I needed scrap, this is what happens. This was insane. I offered to split the loot with Avril, and all he said he wanted was the sulfur. Sadly, this was the last time I ever interacted with Avril. He got off shortly after this, and he was never on when I was on later, so, you know, me depoting this helped me get back on my feet, and maybe was the only reason I was able to continue. So, bro, if you ever see this, you're a real one.
Slugs, make slugs.
About an hour later, one of the members of Team Nest got on and suggested we run around with DBs and slugs.
That should be like a pump or something.
Made us both one.
Oh, shit.
That's kind of. Yeah, it's got slugs in it. So this is kind of everything. Like this is all in for me. We gotta profit off this.
Hit him.
Oh, he logged.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
Oh, look at that, bro.
That's great, dude. Dude, he straight logged on that. You see that? I'm gonna go depot.
Once again, just a couple hours from being wiped to 0. We're up to, what, 500-600 scrap at this point?
I mean, I don't
And then I bought a chair and I set up. Boom.
Hit.
Probably dead.
Nope.
Oh, what?
Hit.
Nice.
Through the bush.
Baby slugs, bro, come on. Can you just take some of my stuff and leave me be, please?
Dude, loaded.
Everybody's loaded.
From those two guys alone, we were up to 260 scrap, and I had run the roads for an hour or two before this, so in total we were 800 scrap in like 2 hours from being raided.
That's how fast you can get that. It's crazy.
We took a few more fights and got some more kills and stuff, but nobody else was as loaded as those first two.
I missed. How am I so bad?
Hit the naked. He's down.
Another one behind you. Yeah, but
Don't mind me, just burning one of Dark's exposed external tool cupboards. And then placing a third metal grief TC. Should I have used these resources on my own base to repair and rebuild? Yes, absolutely. But this was about sending a message. I wanted them to understand there would always be a cost, and I would never just go away. I returned at daybreak to see what other mischief I could get into. This had once been a 5x5 farm, but it was decaying. That just helped the process along. Team Dark had this weird habit of building separate YouTube bases, so this compounded area was theirs as well, plus that big main one with the windmills on it. I decided to inspect the interior. After draining all three of the bolty turrets, I got my lay of the land. The way it was built was a little bit confusing, but I was looking for any kind of weakness so I could come back and raid it. After breaking two of the turrets, I ran home to depot and get a couple more wacky tools. Before I left, I wanted to make sure to leave a little hello to all the Dark teammates. I ran home and excitedly deposited my 3 shiny new bolties. I'm not gonna lie, that whole thing felt really good, especially after getting raided by them. But it wouldn't be too long before they got back on and let me know that they disapproved. I guess they got notified of their deaths because when I went to farm, there they were door camping again. It was like day one all over again. Except they had a bolty roof camper too now. It was clear these guys had it out for me. They'd have nakeds trying to distract or call out where I am while the bolty was taking shots at me. This kind of combat is always so crazy too because you never know who's just a random third party and who's part of their group. This guy? starts pointing to where they are.
Get him. What the Sigma? What the Sigma? Slam it? That's crazy. Good shot. Good shot.
In the distance, 2 landmines went off, which gave me an idea for the coming evening. For now, I had to get back out to farm for some upkeep and also for some expansion. Thankfully, the only thing these guys were good at were offline raids. They were garbage at PvP and even worse at roof camping. After depoting that farm, it was time to take one of the shiny new bolties out for a spin. I didn't have a scope, but I didn't figure I needed it with these guys. I was fighting them, mocking them, and combat constructing all at the same time. I was in my element. At some point, I either killed them all or they ran out of ammo, I'm not sure which, but I won and they got off their roofs. But don't you worry, because I wasn't done with them yet. They weren't going to get off that easily with just a bunch of roof camping. While slinking around with the DB, I heard them run into this weird stone building. Purity. I focused on getting the T's and getting out. If I could bank this win, this would be huge. Oh my god. I did not make it out. The cope side of it is, though, I pushed back. I bullied the bullies. And I turned my attention to an idea I'd had earlier in the day. You might notice 5 little friends in my hotbar. And I had just the place to put them. Placed the mines all around and even put a bag nearby, just on the off chance some magic happened. And it wasn't too much longer when I heard. Oh, he's still up. Who's bandaging? So once again, no big come up, but we had pushed back, and sometimes that's just all you can do. The next morning I noticed a tug was parked right up against my farm. Maybe for a coming raid. And I also noticed that they had a new wooden compound around everything that they had built over there. And I take full credit for that. I decided to go on the offensive and do something about their new toy. And after being dealt a little bit of karma from my prior actions, I safely made it over to Fishing Village. In case you weren't aware, it's actually really efficient and relatively cheap to sink a tug with torpedoes. Despite that, this actually was every bit of gunpowder that I had, so I wanted to make it count. I figured it was worth, though. I wanted to take these guys down a notch. Now, unfortunately, they had parked it in really shallow water, so we couldn't watch it sink through the water or anything. I would have loved that. But I knew I'd sunk it, they couldn't use it anymore, so it was time to move on to the next thing. While on a local roam, I had heard some gunshots nearby and decided to investigate. Ooh, it's go deep time. They never came back, so I just decided to head home. You know, couldn't go deep, but hey, we got a little something. I didn't have any cards this time, so we'll take it. Oh, it is the last bullet. Come on. A short while later, I noticed some really good deals through vending machines, but I wasn't near outposts. So I got a car put together, fixed it up, and got the things I needed for outpost. I was actually most excited about the high qual quarry group. They were selling 1 diesel for 25 high qual. I had just put down a tier 3 workbench thanks to all the road running earlier, so I was very low on high qual. If I wanted to make any tier 2, tier 3 weapons, I was going to need a bunch. And it was while on the road to Outpost that I had this random encounter. Remember, I'm coming back from nothing, so this was like a massive come up. That kind of gunpowder, that kind of metal, even the scrap and meds, I needed all of it. What's even crazier is this happened 2 more times in the coming days, and both times at the same little intersection. A hazy, like it's not some big loss. Oh, there's a guy in the road. I'm gonna try to run him over. Got him.
Okay.
Oh, so juiced. Oh. And I ran over his friend. Dude, he's so juiced. 300 scrap, 38 high qual. Nice. Oh, he's mad. So between those 3 kills, we got around 700 scrap and 50 high qual. So that was a pretty solid ROI on a car. Anyway, back to the present. I finally made it to Outpost, and I couldn't wait to get a bunch of high quality metal.
Can a brother get something? I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for something. Give me 1 med stick or
225 high qual, a line or 2 of metal. I mean, this was massive for me. No node hitting, just straight to the TC. A short while later, I was just chatting with a new neighbor when I heard an interesting sound. Oh? What's that about? You see anything?
No.
Are they getting raided? Hold up. Because that's the only thing over there, is them. Yeah, they're getting after it. They're getting raided.
Getting raided?
Yeah, listen.
Oh. To an investigate?
I think a tug pushed up on their shore, and it's like a tug of raiders versus them. That's my guess.
Yeah.
There's
you can do?
we can help the raiders.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So when they try and flank on the base, we'll just kill them.
Okay.
Oh.
What do you see? Am I right on my guess?
Nah, they're shooting rockets up the tug.
HVs, yeah, they're trying to sink the tug. Okay. Oh, they're shooting out of that, I see, out of that other base over there. Oh, they're getting shot back at. They're here close.
What, they're close on us?
Yeah, this closest base that's in the water, they're in that. Dude, this coyote's gonna sell me out. That guy just fell in the water who just rocketed.
I'm gonna try and go in and kill him.
Okay. Dude, I think he hit. I think that HV actually hit. They were moving. All right, I'm gonna go for this guy. Oh, he keeps falling in the water.
I'm not even gonna do it, man.
Okay, just chill there. There's guys all in the water. Dude, he's running this way. I might get him if he opens the gate or something. Yeah, I think he's oblivious. I think he's about to open this gate. He did. He's about to push out. He's pushing out and around. Got him, dead.
Good shit, I'm covering.
Got AK. Boom launcher.
I'll loot his kit, man.
Okay, I'm going. I'm bouncing. If you made it this far into the video, you already know how I feel right now. My heart was in my throat and I was a kid on Christmas. I just wanted to make it home. Here, take my custom and try to do the same thing again. Custom on the ground.
Yes. Yeah, I'm dead. Just fucking loaded them.
I know, dude, that's what I'm saying. They're a full on ZERG when they're all on. I got home. I got it. Dude, 7 HVs? Okay, this was one of the most epic moments for me personally. To put this in perspective, within about 6 game hours, we had gone from absolutely nothing to a tier 3, the 3 bolties we got from Team Dark, this AK, the HVs, all the farm we found, the road kills, everything. I mean, it was more than I ever expected us to have by this point. And as I expected retribution, I went ahead and upgraded the base as best I could with all the metal I'd gotten from Outpost. I also gambled if they were going to hit me, they were going to do it right this time and get rid of all my externals. So I wanted to at least make the costs a little bit more for them by upgrading everything to metal. I expanded above the shooting floor so that I could park some helis in here and then added a roof section. I needed to have a new vending machine. I covered up the old one with a new honeycomb. My plan was to sell potatoes and cloth, and it ended up working really well. I got a ton of high qual from this over time. I also fleshed out my squirrel away loot area. Like I said, I like to separate my loot in different ways. Even that vending machine is now honeycombed from the outside, so this whole little area is a nice place to put loot. By the way, the best stuff you should probably put behind this like glass thing. Thanks to the metal and high qual from Outpost, everything was looking really good. We had all the doors replaced. We had some armored doors. We had an armored core. I mean, this is about as good as we could get. We called it a night and prayed we weren't offlined. The next morning I found that the Rust Gods had indeed blessed us. We weren't offlined and everything was in good order. I saw cargo was spawning in right beside me and I went for it. this particular cargo spawn was a really big deal for me. If I could get on and hold it down, then it would have to circle almost the entire map to make it back to the other harbor, which would give me a huge edge in holding it. So all I wanted to do was get on, clear out the bottom scientists, hold it down, and potentially come away with 4 crates of loot. Eventually I had 3 crates going, and I had opened all the loot crates as they respawned. I had a stacked inventory. I knew cargo was about to pull out of the harbor. All I had to do was hold it down. I spotted this guy working on the upper scientist, and I figured I could get a shot on him when he got closer. Okay, I was baffled when some of these missed. This one. What? Okay, so 4 hits. I think 1 wasn't even a headshot, even though it should have been. A couple misses that are questionable. I don't know. I was baffled. I was baffled here. But, you know, I didn't want to just lose the bag with an ego push or anything, so I did it right. I healed up, and I waited to strike. We actually played cat and mouse and shot at each other a bunch. But, here's how it ended. Fumble. Bro jumps on, and that's the end of it. Man, losing it like that, fumbling that kind of bag, that just burned me. So I decided I was going to throw another kid at it. We're just going to silent board here. Oh! I gotta get this home. I can't fight these guys. I gotta do it. I was thinking my lucky stars that that guy had kept the diving set I had brought with me. He could have just thrown it aside or dropped it somewhere, but because he had it, I was able to jump out and swim to a boat and make it all the way home. I got 3 crates worth of loot, more guns than I could have ever wanted. I mean, it was a huge come up for me at the time. About an hour later, I was just roaming around and I heard a gunfight at Harbor. It sounded like one killed another, so I ran for the survivors. Only there was more than one. All bleeding. Oh no. Oh. Of course. I respawned, grabbed a SAR, grabbed a horse, and raced back. I mean, this was the whole purpose of my base. This is why I built near Ranch and Harbor. I mean, just for moments like this. Alright, where'd you go? Oop, water? Did you swim? The guy took that fight really weird. Almost like he wanted to run away, but then he remembered something. I don't know. It was strange. And then it dawned on me I jumped over a backpack. Oh my god. I suspected I stumbled across clan loot. I mean, nobody has this kind of cheese just laying around. Whiffs aside, I had taken down 3 and prayed that was all there was. I knew I had to loot and scoop.
Hello there.
No, not this time. Go. Let's go. What is this? First cargo, then this. 1100 scrap, 150 high quality. This is crazy. But things got even crazier. I ran back naked just to look around, see if there was leftover loot, and I found that body from where I bled out, and nobody had touched it. So yes, I got home with all of this as well. After all this PvP excitement, I cooled off with about a half hour of farming, and I had a monster run. Again, T's come in clutch. People sleep on them, but that's 2-3 days worth of farm right there. I could just focus on other things now. Later, I felt compelled to just go give a well check to our ZERG friends, so I grabbed my DB and waited. Rather than just swim away with the loot, I wanted to see what I can make happen here. I had plenty of loot at home thanks to those cargo runs and everything. They always have a roof camper. Nope. Saw the geared guy at the top, and I thought, if I can just get his stuff, I'm out. But that's what happens when you get greedy. Still, like I said, I love bullying the bullies, right? I pushed back. I made the whole clan focus on me. Let them know I was here. Loved it. But even though I lost that battle, it turns out I won the entire war, as it wasn't long later where their bases all started to decay. I actually ran into the leader when I wasn't filming, and he said that they were tired of messing with me over here, that it was just me that they could focus on. They could either bully me and continue to raid what they deemed a solo, or they could move to another part of the map and fight bigger boys and bigger battles, and that's what they opted to do. So in short, I bullied them out of the area. I think it just goes to show that persistence can beat numbers any day of the week. They chose to let all of this decay and move to the complete other side of the map rather than deal with me day to day. In fact, in the end, the leader of the clan, who's the same guy who was talking bad about his teammates at the beginning.
Sure. Nothing weird about that, but that guy's fucking...
Anyway, that leader and I spoke for a long time. He told me that very first raid, the whole reason I got raided was because I had diesel in my vending machine and that they needed it for raids. Even though I only had, I think, 7 at the time, that was worth their time, he said. He went on to say that he warned his team when they put those very first external TCs down. He said he had nothing to do with that, and he warned them that I would be a menace once they do that. He could just tell by the way I was building, the way I handled myself, that picking a fight with me would probably not be worth their time. Anyway, he offered some gifts. He wanted to bury the hatchet. He did not want me to follow him, and he basically respected how I pushed back. So he gave me a kit, and he gave me a mini. Obviously, I wish I had recorded all that, but I had run out of storage space, so what can you do? I do have one more run-in with these guys before it's all said and done, but for now I was just basking in my victory. With the big group gone, I could focus on other things, like finally spending some time running cargo. I'd heard lots of shooting already, so I opted for the sneaky route to board. With firefights breaking out all around me, I discovered 2 crates with less than a minute left on them. Within 2 minutes, I had 2 crates worth of loot. I jumped in the water, and I was gone. The heist.
Love to see it. 2C4. Free 2C4.
And with the neighbors gone, I decided to put those 2C4 to use. I noticed a new code lock stone base in my area, so I took those C4 to blow into where I thought core was. Scrap. 200 hardcore. I took all the best bits and depoted it at home. I came back and raided the other doors in the base, and there was literally nothing, so I'll spare you the footage. After a bit of a break, I came back to see cargo had once again returned to the map. This actually kicked off a series of cargo runs, so I boiled all the footage down, and I'll show you the top 5 moments.
Number 5.
From my time of sleuthing around, I knew there was at least 3 more, so I did the only thing I could do. I hucked it all on the ocean floor and F1. I lived close enough to just grab a scuba kit and come right back to get it. Easy.
Number 4.
Oh, what the? Guy killed me and looted me and left me for dead, but I still had a chance.
Oh, I stood. Somebody took my SR.
3 minutes each. So
By sheer luck, I found a body with a DB on it.
Killed one. Killed another.
I'd kill 2, but I knew there was lots more. I noticed on the mini-map that the crate had been looted. I waited for the guy to jump in front of me.
I'm pushing the guy who looted the crate.
So I killed a guy who killed another guy,
okay,
leaving 2 bodies in the water.
And I have diving gear?
First guy didn't have much, but the second guy... Oh, he had the crate
with, like, all the loot. I'm gone.
Alright, can I show off box? Alright, so from literally nothing, because I lost my SAR I took originally, to this. Not bad. Little nothing to something.
Number 3.
Set the stage real quick. Beaver and I both snuck on cargo, and there were some sweats on there. Beaver had just been killed, and I went for his killer. Here we go, bud. Got him. One of two. Juiced backpack. I'm gonna throw the backpack. Backpack gone. So it'll be in the water. Got crate. C4, faulty. I think I'm jumping. He got me, killed me. But Jack, I hear you asking, why is this on your top 5 if you just got killed? That's an excellent question, good sir. Allow me to explain. You see, I wasn't quite dead yet. How did that? Headshot? Alright, I pushed him off my MP5 at least. Headshot him. As he ducked back to heal, I pushed for my MP5, but it was too late. He got in the heli and he left. Come on. That's okay though, because I still had that backpack in the water. I secured the bag and took it home.
Number 2.
Okay, so full disclosure, this doesn't technically take place on cargo, but I was heading to cargo when all this went down, and cargo's right beside us, so we're just gonna call it. Heli'd been taken down, a big firefight broke out, and I got curious. Lay a body. Oh! Confident I heard the guy get hit a few times, I pushed up to see if I could finish him off. Okay, yes, I whiffed pretty hard, but I secured the bag. I ran to a nearby building, threw a backpack down, and depoted what I had so I can go get all the rest. I grabbed the majority of the loot, and I dipped, swept it all the way back home.
Number 1.
Alright, you already get the idea. I'm on cargo, I have a DB. I know there's AK guys running around, I'm not quite sure where. Okay, just one to go. So this was my number 1 fumble due to this spray.
The true number 1.
Completely naked, running into cargo. The plan was simple. I was going to do what Team Dark did to me. I had to be fast though and grab any gun that came out. He's staring right at me. Oh. I don't think he noticed it. Oh my god. I couldn't believe it. Somewhere between euphoria and disgust, I had pulled off the rat play of the century. And it was all thanks to Team Dark. As fast as I could, I looted all the other crates. As if I didn't have enough loot, I even found a body bag. Thankfully, I had the rib box since I didn't have a backpack, so I was able to get every last drop of loot. Just like that, I had gone from literally nothing to all the crates and all the boxes on cargo. Now, obviously, I wish I had multiple C4 and AKs and rockets and all that, but this still gets the #1 just based off the simple fact that I went in there naked, pulled a gun from the crate, right in front of the guy, and made it home with everything. After this, we used all the farm we had, along with all the components we got from cargo, and we decided to do a little bit of raiding. Beaver and I put together 8 C4 and took it to this large metal base with what we thought was the high-qual core exposed. We were excited at the possibilities. What could be behind something like this?
Oh, it's like a jump up or something. What? L. All wasted. Literally nothing.
Over 16,000 sulfur gone for literally nothing. I don't know if they despawned or maybe they got raided, but they had nothing.
Afford it.
We threw together a little bit more boom, about 4 C4 and change, and we went hunting for a good target. We needed to come up.
It's probably just a boat base. I don't think there's any juice there. No electricity. Now we're talking, bro.
Ain't no counters over here.
Oil rig over here. Send it. Code lock? Code lock.
Send it?
Send it.
Code locks, near oil, iceberg. These were all things we'd like to see.
I swear it's
Alright, get your thing out. Go ahead and blow it. RF. Yeah, we're in TC. AKs and stuff.
With cope in my voice, I called out the AK, but really, core was a bust. This was a bad raid.
Yeah, I got it.
We had some hope for the other side of the door, though.
Just hang back. One more. 4. It's open tier 3. Nice. Workbench, sleeping guy.
L. Again, cope in my voice, but we didn't want to admit it at the time, but we did later. We just burned 8 C4 and then another 4, so 12 C4, over 24,000 sulfur, down the toilet.
no sulfur, just lots of repair it and try to sell it for sulfur.
We took everything home to depot, but then got word that our old neighbors, Team Dark, who had already left, they were actually raiding another group the size of theirs. And apparently they were cheaters.
Alright, I got that.
It was very interesting, so we were curious.
I'm showing you the
We
best.
put the loot away and we headed that way. Spawning in and seeing this site definitely took me back. I'd never seen anything like this.
Our neighbors are the attackers.
I'm gonna run that back just so you can process it. This is about a 20-story raid base. Little less than half of it is all high qual, and then they have a second raid base, the majority of which is high qual also. The only thing I knew at this point is that Team Dark, the same people I bullied away from my little section, they were the attackers, and supposedly cheaters were
See that raid
defenders.
base?
Someone in chat said to get on the rock, so I headed for the rock.
Dude, look how many turrets they have set up. All the way around.
And so this was my view for almost an hour. I sat in this lawn chair and jumped around and just watched this thing go down. It was like somebody would watch pay-per-view boxing or something. I was enthralled. I loved watching this clan warfare. For the most part, they left us alone. They let us all just kind of watch. Every now and then they'd snipe us. We'd come back, but this was about it. This was the view.
Dude, that's so funny.
That's Russ interaction.
After a little time, we even upgraded our little viewing perch. We figured out a way to stop them from sniping us.
Yeah, I'm standing. I need a ladder. Does anyone have
And yes, you already know I tried to grab this, but unfortunately I didn't get to any loot. I didn't get away with any loot. I did try a lot though. I just couldn't get to anything. Eventually our little view perch morphed into something else. And there was even talk of bets. Like betting on who was going to win. Attackers or defenders, etc. It's pretty funny. So what's wild about all this is despite all the giant bases, despite the numbers that Team Dark had, despite all the resources, despite all the auto turrets, they lost this raid. They were unable to finish the job. Now, they claimed in chat later that the defenders had a hacker on their team that was doing spinning aimbots and killing them in waves. But I don't know what's true and what's just made up. All I know is that they lost, and this was the last time we saw Team Dark. Team Dark exits the story at this point.
In that little hidey hole thing? Yeah. Alright, you got it all?
Yep.
Once we got our fill of clan warfare entertainment, we decided to go on a raid of our own. Scraped together a little bit of boom. Wasn't a whole lot, but it's everything we had at the time. And we looked around for a good target.
I'd love... Oh.
Oh, fuck. Oh shit, they're in the mini in front of us.
Nice.
Miss. Now, we'd been in the air about 30 seconds, and somebody came from in front of us.
How'd they know to come to us, dude? I hate cheaters.
Wanna go to like a fishing village or something?
Beaver suggested fishing village, and he was bang on. I looked for the closest one and made a beeline for it.
Oh my god, and there's a guy on the ground. We'll make it hit, but it's okay. It's okay, we're alright, we're alright, we're alright. Head to fishing village.
Yeah. Thirsty.
I don't know if we're gonna make it, but we're gonna try.
They had locked on when there was no cover, so we knew we were toast. Except they suddenly just stopped. They disappeared. The whole thing was weird though, and I was baffled.
How did they come cut us off in the air while we had boom on us? I don't know. Maybe I just like my cheater accusations are too high or something.
Eventually, we made it to fishing
just
village
feels
where we healed up, and then
Gotta
pushed
find a
on
way
to
to
home.
repair this bad boy.
We got home, we repaired, and with possible cheaters in the area, we wanted to use the boom, so we went for that raid. Except this time we went a whole different direction.
Screw that direction.
Now, worth noting, between the time we were at Fishing Village and went home, which was about 10 minutes or so, by the time we got back, someone had molly raided our compound, someone had put a bunch of bags down, they were in all white. We didn't know if it was that same group we'd seen in the air, but if there were cheaters, maybe? We don't know, we just kind of like moved on, we repaired, life went on.
As long as I stay like a certain height, it won't. This is, I want to go check my, oh look at that guy down, that looks like money right there. So 2x2.
Yeah,
Armor door. Yeah, that's our boy. Okay, it's all doored off. Alright, well. I guess come over here.
Here's an RF real quick.
I guess we boom in right here. Alright, here we go. In like Flynn, 2 more armored doors.
Oh my god, look at these bags.
This is a lot of bags. We may have an. Okay, come back here. And lob all of them right in the joint. You see where I'm pointing? Like right here?
Yeah, yeah.
They all need to hit right there. Okay.
All 4? I have 4. And then...
Yep, and then we have Explo and... Couple more satchels.
That's 3 satchels.
Get on this top.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, in on 1. Bunch of garbage, bro. Bunch of meds. Oh, 3 AKs. Alright, we're in everything. And I'm blown TC. Nothing in the other little section. Oh my gosh, dude.
Bust?
We can't get it. Add this to the fail raid list. So this was another, I don't even know. I don't even want to know. But total loss. No sulfur back, nothing. No boom. Ugh. Alright, I got literally like everything. We grabbed our scraps and headed out. Oh, we got a bunch of AKs. This is pretty good. Oh shit! Oh, L9 just missed us. What, right there. Behind you.
Oh my god.
I saw their little silhouettes. We got home and depoted and called it a night. Our spirits were high though, and we discussed our plans for the coming days. But by the next morning, all those plans were put on hold. In one of the most facepalm moments of my Rust career, I logged in with no audio. My headphones were off and I was watching something on my phone. I couldn't even tell you what it is. So that attack heli you just heard? I never heard that. At the time, I was putting everything away so that I could spawn outside and run around, see what had changed overnight. So you can imagine my surprise when I realized the biggest change is my base. I throw my headphones on and try to take in what I'm looking at. There's lights everywhere. My compound had been broken several places. All the outer turrets are gone. There's ladders. I don't know what's happening. I had just been in core, so I thought maybe they boomed in somewhere else. So I spawned up in my crow's nest. I kept the launcher and some HVs up here for raid defense, so the plan was to look down over them and shoot them if I needed to. That's when I heard. Now I was on bad timing. I didn't have a close bag, so I hit the respawn and prayed. And got lucky. The Rust God smiled on me. But that's about as far as my luck went. See, I knew what all that boom meant. It meant they were blowing into my core, where my TCE and all my crates were. They shouted a bunch of Russian and some gamer words in broken English, but I knew what this meant. This raid was a GG. All I could do was listen to them break things and wait for my bag. After what felt like forever, I was finally back on the roof and had a fighting chance this time. My only focus was to fight them off a bit so that I could seal the base. At one point, I had a lucky break and they all left the compound. I tried to use the moment to go in and seal, but unfortunately there was no seal materials left. They had taken every last bit. I thought they had left for good, startled when I came online, but the party was just getting started. I
hadn't even realized till now, they had actually boomed into my second floor first, where a lot of my good loot was hidden. So they had gone to all my hiding spots and then core. At one point they came back, but never pushed through the gap. They stayed on the outside of the wall, and I used the moment to throw on a kit real quick. The period of boredom was soon over, though. The way they were playing was very strange. I hadn't made much noise, but they knew right where to look. They sent in a naked first. Earlier, none of the full kits pushed in. The whole thing was just odd. I began to smell a rat. Suspecting they had ESP or something, I used it as bait. I faced away from the opening, hoping to push them in. And it worked. Let's go! I was back in business. All I had to do was seal. That was all that mattered was sealing. Plenty of seal mats. I looked around for a hammer and a building plan. Found a hammer on this body, but no building plan, so I crafted one. Finally, the building plan finished, but I had to kill a naked. Only disaster struck. I couldn't see him. For probably the 5th time, CLLO had killed me. The only thing I could think to do was grab more seal mats and try to come through core to seal up. I knew there was no way I could get it from the outside. He had stood in the way so I couldn't seal, but I thought I heard him run away. Only, I didn't. I respawned outside and came in through the garage and went to one of the squirreled away loot boxes. I had to give it one more shot to seal. By this point, it was all pretty blatant, and I knew how it was going to end. I really didn't have a chance. Unfortunately, all I could do was watch as they took load after load after load home. And for them, home seemed to be somewhere close, because they would go and come back relatively quickly. In fact, when I had HV'd them in my compound, they were back really fast, so I didn't know if they had a forward base, I didn't know if their actual home was nearby, I didn't know anything. The damage was catastrophic. I had lost everything of value. I didn't even have enough metal left over to seal properly.
Stupid.
I could do one wall, but not the other. At this point, I had made my peace that my wipe was over. Everything was done. The upkeep for the base was around 10,000 metal a day, 150 high qual, and I just didn't have it in me to farm all that or go get all that. I let Beaver know. I'd let him down. I'd fumble to save. And it was basically over. Before I logged out for the end of wipe, I wanted to check something. After they raided me, they raided 2 or 3 other bases in the area, and they kept flying back to this one. Now, it was a small base, but I thought maybe it was theirs, so I wanted to check that out, but Before I could go and do that, they flew over near me and crashed and never left. They were just running the rotor. I didn't know what was going on, so I went to check it out. And then the unbelievable happened. They had all got banned, and I knew at least a couple of them were right in front of me. No way. No way! Okay. I ran and looted what I could, and it was during this little looting spree that I had an idea. Just a little seed. What if I raided them back? While considering this, chat started asking, where do they live? Where do they live? We've never seen them. And I realized I was one of the few people who had at least some idea of where they may live. So I got to work. I had nothing, but that's okay. A short while later, cargo spawned in. I knew I could possibly get some C4 or at least components. Pipes and tech trash are hard to come across over in harbor areas, so this was going to be a big run for me. I got on, took care of business, and secured every bit of loot possible. The 4 red crates and all the loot boxes gave me a bunch of pipes and tech trash, but not really much boom. I was going to have to work for that. I ran a couple local monuments, and before you knew it, I had 15 diesel put together. Maybe about 10 from the monuments and 5 from what I had stashed away in an area the hackers didn't hit. I solo ran the quarry and got all 15 diesel cooked. Because I needed a few more comps and definitely a bunch of charcoal, I decided to take that attack heli those hackers graciously donated to me and fly around to look for a decayed base. Eventually I came across this one. The whole base was empty, but the top 2 boxes? Money. Exactly what I needed. With these comps, plus everything from cargo, and the sulfur I got from quarry, I was ready to go. I cooked it all up into 8 rockets and 4 C4. I prayed that would be enough. Once again, I'd gone from nothing to something, but what motivated me was the fear that somebody else would raid these guys before I could. Also, because all the cheaters I ran into, I wanted to do it right and have a raid base with a turret on it. Thanks to the cargo run, I even had the resources to make a turret. Finally, the moment had come. This was all or nothing. To add to my stress, I really wasn't convinced that this was their base. I knew they had landed on it a number of times, but just from the looks of it, I didn't know if they raided it or if this is just how they lived. I wasn't sure. I didn't see boxes everywhere like you typically see with hackers, but I trusted my instincts and I went for it. Not gonna lie, this was not looking good, but I decided to push forward. And then I saw the boxes. There's... What? Okay. Okay, that's a good sign. This was it. There was no doubt about it. This was the cheater base. I couldn't believe it. This was all or nothing, and we had done it. We had pulled off the impossible. We raided the cheaters. We got our loot, and probably everybody in the whole square's loot as well. And what's crazy is this was just 3 boxes. I hadn't even got to core yet. I had to finish the job. I filled up the truck and then my own inventory and took a depot run home. Make sure I didn't miss something. Okay. With sweaty palms, I headed home. Bro, that is stupid. It quickly became apparent my biggest problem was going to be storage space. I didn't have the room for all this. I threw stuff wherever and went back to finish the job. Is open. Oh, at GP, there's T's, C4. Oh, these this is crazy. I had done it. I had done the impossible. It took a total of 3 depot runs, using a backpack, the car, and my player inventory before I got it all. This was probably the most loot I've ever gotten in a raid, especially when you consider how little boom I use. The rest of the wipe was used just for having fun. We'd raid goofy bases or go run missions that we wanted to do. At no point were we stressed or worried about clans or hackers. We enjoyed every last bit of time we had. And this is where our story ends. I truly hope you enjoyed coming on this adventure with me. If you found this video entertaining, please like and subscribe and maybe even share with a friend. If you had a favorite moment, please share it in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. Until next time, this is Jack, signing off.